How important is it to know finance? Or how important is it to have someone beside you that actually knows finance?
Very important is the answer to that question now, because you don't know what you don't know. The media makes it out to be it's hard, it's impossible. Yes, where we are, especially in Sydney, it is expensive, but it is not impossible.
Can you explain from your experience what is investing? Because there's so many people out there that explain it in a different way. Coming from a finance professional, what is investing? What does it mean for someone?
In Australia, we love properties, and I believe in property investing. Being a broker is not easy, tough in terms of hours, but it's the phone calls from clients that, hey, Eric, thank you for getting into our dream home.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I enjoyed helping clients find a way to get into property, but it all stems from finance. So my finance knowledge kind of gave me a good lending hand. So even when we have conversations, I love talking to you about it because I'm genuinely excited talking about finance and property together, because if you understand those two and you have the right team behind you, you can do anything in this world.
Correct.
100% you can. Eric, my man.
Hello. It's a pleasure.
It's a big good session.
Pleasure.
Before we start into anything,
Tell me.
I've known you for a while now. We've been across,
Yeah.
not too far from us.
Correct.
So it's been good now. Now we've ignited the relationship.
I think so. It's good.
I want to start with one thing before you get into anything at all.
Yes.
Why do you do what you do?
Well, great question. Great question. I've been in the banking industry before I became a broker, for about 12 years.
Yeah.
I stumbled upon it, to be perfectly honest. 12 years in the banking industry, as I said, very experienced. And 3 years before I became a broker, William, who's the founder and the co-owner of Mortgage Pros, approached me and said, hey, Eric, do you want to be a broker? I said to him, I didn't say it, but I was thinking in my head, not particularly, but, why? Oh, we're looking at hiring one. And I thought it was a one-man band, to be perfectly honest with you, because if I was to join up, I wanted to join an operation, and because I know how hard it is. And in the industry, if you're a one-man band, it is hard to succeed and be able to deliver high quality service, because it's not easy submitting an application, right? So yeah, look, I had a coffee catch up with him, and yeah, he had a big operation, and I believed in his business, and Russell as well, the other co-owner, and yeah, I made the leap of faith. And I guess it's a long way of answering why, but I think I'm very good at it, talking to people. And in Australia, we love properties, and I believe in property investing. So I guess it's a combination of my experience, natural talent and tendency to be able to talk to people, convince them, breaking down complicated concept, a simple concept, and helping people in their property journey and property dream. And being a broker is not easy, tough in terms of hours, and all sorts of other things. But I don't know, I've said it before, I'll say it again, but it's the phone calls from clients that, hey, Eric, thank you for getting into our dream home.
It's
hey,
amazing.
It's amazing. And thank you for, wouldn't be able to buy my first investment property a second, or I didn't think I was able to until I speak to you. So
Interesting. It's
long-winded answer, but
it's a good segue.
Yeah,
It's a good segue.
yeah.
Like yourself. So why I do what I do?
tell
Property.
me. Yes.
It all stemmed back to when I was a kid, much younger. I saw my parents, they never owned a property. Well, when they owned the property, they lost the property.
Yeah.
I never understood why until obviously when I was older, I got the point. Obviously, the wrong advice from an agent and broker, it kind of like eliminated them. Like they've lost everything. They had to go bankrupt. They had to sell their cars, the stuff that we loved. So we kept moving houses rent every 12 months.
Right.
It was a crazy time. As a kid, you think to yourself, what are my parents doing wrong? Obviously, come to 15, 16, I asked a question. Obviously, like it was the bad advice from the agent and the broker.
Yeah.
Put them into a property that they just could not afford. I made it my mission. I wanted to study physiotherapy. I even went to uni 3 years, just didn't do my master's. I went to finance. I want to understand this whole industry in finance and why did my parents get stuck like that? And I didn't want it for myself personally as well. I'm like, what better experience than to actually go directly to the source?
Yes.
So did finance. I'm like, this is what it means by doing property. Like this is what it means by buying property. It's just the knowledge that you need. As a young person, I learned so much. Got to 23, 24. I've been in finance for maybe 5 years then. Enjoyed every second of it, helping people with lending, like yourself, yeah? Then I stumbled into property. I went to a seminar at events and there was this one guy that just kept talking about how you can monopolize your portfolio and buy multiple properties in Australia and retire in 10 years. I'm like, as a young 20-year-old, I'm like, retire? You can do that before you're 40?
Yeah.
You buy more than one property? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I went to property, I fell in love with property. Now I feel like finance is something that I needed, then I fell in love with property. So did property, went to the seminar, started working at the place, didn't stop, enjoyed it. I enjoyed helping clients find a way to get into property. But it all stems from finance. So my finance knowledge kind of gave me a good lending hand. So even when we have conversations, I love talking to you about it because I'm genuinely excited talking about finance and property together, because if you understand those two and you have the right team behind you, you can do anything in this world.
Correct.
100% you can. Join the property, fast forward 6-7 years almost. Here I am. Now I feel like I got a good team underneath me. It's been a mad experience. Helping clients in seminars, events, teaching that property. I focus all my energy into it now, where the market's moving. I sometimes got a bit of ADHD, as you can see. So the fast-paced environment of the Australian market allows me to move with it. So when I'm talking to younger people like ourselves about the industry, I'm like, you can buy property, man. You just got to think outside the box slightly. Don't listen to what's on social media. Don't listen to what's out there. Be smarter a bit.
Yes.
So this is why I want to have this conversation with you personally. You know the ins and outs. You have done more complex finance than anyone I've ever met. You guys are top 10 brokers now in Australia?
Yes.
So like, we're going to the best here. Now we've segued, people know why we do what we do. How important is it to know finance? Or how important is it to have someone beside you that actually knows finance? So how can it help someone succeed in Australia more than not?
Very important is the answer to that question now, because you don't know what you don't know. I think the biggest misconception, which is the question that I want to ask you as well, like for a lot of the clients that we see, is that the media makes it out to be, it's hard, it's impossible. Yes, where we are, especially in Sydney, it is expensive, but it is not impossible. There are options out there where you could rent-vest, even buying into your first home. It's not, people are not as far away as they think.
Can you explain from your experience what is rent investing? How would you explain it to someone? Because there's so many people out there that explain it in a different way. Coming from the finance professional, what is rent investing? What does it mean for someone?
Essentially, you rent where you want to live. You do not give up the lifestyle that you want because perhaps you live in Sydney where you can't buy into that market yet. You rent where you want to live and you focus on investing in another state where you can get into the market. So you're not losing out on not getting into the property market. Essentially,
100%.
That's what it is.
If I wanted to live in Stratford, I get it. What's a typical home here? Like a standard 4-bedroom home, maybe $2.5 million? Would you say $3 million?
Yeah.
What's my mortgage payments roughly per month on that?
$2.5 million. So you're looking at about 15 grand.
A lot of money, man.
Yeah.
And if I was to rent that home, I would say maybe 2.2 a week, 2.3 a week, would you say?
Yeah.
And let's say 2.2 a week. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 8. You're paying like, what's that?
Almost half of that. Yeah. Well, yeah, you know.
But people don't know that. People just keep saying that renting and mortgage is the same amount. But you made a key point. It's you can live where you want to live. If I can afford to buy in an area 45 minutes from the CBD, but I want to live 20 minutes from the CBD, it's a whole different thing. I'm buying there because I can afford it, but I can rent and live where I want to live. So my kids can go to the school. I can have better work opportunities.
Exactly.
I can go to events or functions that allow me to be upskilled. That's what investing really is. So I'll let you carry on about how important finance is.
That's a concept. You still can get into the property market. Number two, there's basically two things you need. Number one is income. Number two is deposit, right? Actually, a lot of people have the income, but deposit is one of the biggest barriers, you know. So the government has introduced the first home guarantee scheme, and that's also a big change where they brought it forward, where there's a higher price cap you can go to and income cap as well. So a lot of people that didn't qualify before now qualify. And with deposit, again, you've got the 5% first home guarantee scheme, but also if you have access to parents, you know, security guarantee, that's a huge option as well. A huge opportunity for you to be able to get into the market. People don't know that. As I said, you don't know what you don't know. So when you have someone on your side, I'd say a lot of people are in a better position than they actually are. I'd say
100%. People don't know what the equity they have. People don't know that they can use their parents to leverage that. I want to kind of have like a little prediction here. See if this ages well.
Yeah.
The 1st of October grants. I'll throw it to you first. Where do you feel like the 1st of October grants will do to the property market?
I think it's almost unavoidable. I think there are a lot of people who would say, oh, this is going to be terrible. I think it'll go up because the reality is the stock level are the same, but the number of people that are going to qualify now are more. You're going to have more buyers. It's just basic supply and demand, right? So it is going to drive the price up, but it is a good thing in my opinion because government is helping people get into their first home for first home buyers.
People can buy again. I think you're right. Supply and demand, the consumer confidence. As humans, we tend to kind of follow the herd a lot. So now we've been telling people for the last 2 years, you need to buy. Now that everyone's telling us, I want to buy, they're coming to you, I need to buy this home now, help me with my finance. I believe that the 1st of October, fast forward 3 months, let's say we're in December or January, you're going to see the market. We're in September right now, 4th of September, correct? Yeah. I would say, let's see if this kind of globe prediction is going to age well, or I could be completely wrong. I believe the market in your area will change by up to 80 to 100K in the next 4 months. I believe own occupiers, it's those affordable key regions. Like if you're in an 800K suburb and the grants are $1 million all of a sudden, it's going to kind of meet halfway. And that's what's going to happen more than not. As a property expert and property stat research person, I love my stats. You're going to see the market just kind of shape away with the grants.
Yeah.
And people are going to be scared. I'm going to miss out. I don't know what to do now. Where do I head? So I think this is where is the most crucial time for people, investors and owner occupiers,
Yes.
to kind of make some money, be smart about their next step.
I think so, yes.
But this all comes down to, like, why do you feel like the last 2 years people didn't want to buy?
Well, interest rates got a lot to do with it.
100%, yeah.
So people's borrowing capacity is smashed.
People don't know about that. Like, when I go to seminars and events, I'm talking about this. Some of them understand, but the majority are like, well, how can I increase that much? So let's just say that we're back this time last year. How much has it changed already between September last year and September now that they can borrow extra?
As a general rule,
Yep.
a 25 basis points cut, a 0.25% increases your borrowing capacity by about 2.5 to 3%.
Yep.
We've got to remember the change is gradual. It's not like overnight. We were not long ago at a 2% environment. I'd say about 2.5, 3 years ago.
I miss those days.
Yeah. It was 10, 11, whatever it was, consecutive rate rises that got us to this position. But now, again, we've got a few rate cuts. It's not immediate, but it is gradual. I guess one of the misconceptions as well is whenever we have rate cut, I'm going to be able to borrow. What's annoying is one rate cut, 25 basis point, isn't increasing all that much, but the sentiment of the market because of the rate cut, FOMO, fear of missing out, actually does drive prices up. So
100%.
I think
You couldn't have said it any better though.
Yeah.
It's the FOMO and the perception of people believe is going to happen to the market, and it happens. We see it happen all the time. Now you're going to have 10 people buy the same property in Strathfield all of a sudden because they
Yes.
believe they can do so. It's going to happen everywhere you go. Be smart of what you do next. Okay, how much of this we talk a lot about this, but I guess this is something completely different. How big of a factor is mindset when buying a property or going for finance?
Mindset, huh? Be rational is very important. Two different things here, because I deal with people who are buying property for owner-occupier or buy it for investment, right? So when I talk to investors, it's so much easier because we take the feelings out of it. It's all about numbers. It's an investment. They don't have to worry about, does it have a pool? Does the kitchen look like this? Do
you get some investors that treat it as if it's an owner-occupier purchase? Do you get those investors, or do they know it's number focused? This is what I'm doing.
Every now and then, yes, but I think thankfully majority are quite rational.
Nice.
When it comes to buying an investment. But when you're buying an owner-occupier, we understand that emotion or how far is it from school, like that goes into play. As much as possible, if you're buying an investment, you have to take the emotion out of it. Why are you investing? You're investing because you want to make a return. You want to build a better future. You want to be able to get capital gain, right? So look at the numbers, look at the data, obviously, why this property is going to perform better in the future. That's it, right? And if you're buying it to live in, we understand that there's going to be emotional and personal preference that comes into play.
Yep.
But when it comes to the numbers, you've got to be disciplined, right? This is why you speak to a professional like myself and you. We work out what their ceiling is. Hey, this is your absolute ceiling. You play within that parameter.